Run it, baby. Ricky Cheese, baby!
So, hey guys, it is your boy Ricky Cheese with the FloridaWrestling.com, and I am here with Alex Wisdom, the creator, founder, and the brains behind Florida Wrestling Insight on Instagram. That's FL_Wrestling Insight on Instagram. Go give them a follow. You'll be very happy, and you will thank me that you did. Anyway, Alex, we're going to talk about something that everyone's talking about right now, the state tournament, but we're going to talk about 10 wrestlers that we feel can open everybody's eyes and maybe surprise some people at the state tournament. Now, these are kids that may not be ranked top 2, 3. Maybe they didn't place last year. Maybe they placed maybe 6th, 7th, or 8th. So they're, not expected to win it this year per se, but we feel that, hey, maybe they will. Who knows? So I think we're going to do 5 girls and 5 guys, right?
Yep, that's what we're going to do.
Okay. So in the girls, I'm going to let you kick it off. Who would be the first one out of the top 5 girls that we feel can open some eyes and do something big at the state tournament? That is, granted they make it to the state tournament.
So to start off with, we're going to go pretty big. I'm going to pick Juliana Mills from Flagler, Palm Coast. Only a freshman. If you know her name, she's a sister of Mariah Mills, who's state champ, national champ, and ranked in the nation. And she's in that Flagler Palm.
His brother, that's a state champ too.
Brother's also a state champ, and both of her brothers are state finalists. So she comes from a whole wrestling background. And being in the Flagler Palm Coast room, which is one of, if not the best rooms in the state right now, she's getting pushed every day to be better. And personally for me, I think she will make the state qualifying. I think she will qualify for states, and I also think that she will place at the state tournament because Anaya Wayne, Kiss Me Osceola, who's, I believe, top 5 ranked to the FloridaWrestlingRoom.com rankings.
He is number 5 in the TFWR rank.
She is number 5. The first time they wrestled, I think Juliana got majored or teched. The second time they wrestled, they had, I believe, a 1 or 2 point match. So she's closing the gap on her. And I think the next time they meet, the results could be different. And I think with her, she'll be wrestling a lot of other top competition where she could surprise them and potentially place at the state tournament.
Yeah, for sure. Guys, before Alex and I jumped on here to do this episode, I asked him to send me his top 5 girls that he feels could open some eyes.
Yeah.
Granted, they make the state tournament. And we had the same exact girls. Like, I'm not joking. Am I lying?
No, and no talking about it before. It was just, this is my list, this is your list.
Yeah. So
and it
when
was
he
the exact
sent them
same.
over, I was kind of freaked out. I'm like, wow, we are on the same wavelength, but great minds think alike. So doesn't surprise me.
Exactly.
So much. I go with Mills as well. She doesn't have the greatest record in the world, 18-9 on the year, but they do wrestle a pretty tough schedule, which always makes them better as well. Iron sharpens iron, as we always say. Not to mention she comes from that wrestling background, her brothers, her sisters, and her sister's been working with her. You got to believe that. Yeah, Mills, she's going to get on the podium, I think. One girl that we did not mention out of the girls, the 5 girls, but I'm going to throw her in there right now because you just never know what you're going to get with this girl. I mean, she's good enough where she can win it. Sayori Caceres.
100%. Yeah. I mean, she was preseason ranked number 1. She's had a tough schedule and a tough season this year, but doesn't take away the fact that she had the number 1 spot for a reason. So she can definitely make some noise at the state tournament, even win it.
Absolutely. So the second one we're going to talk about, and then I'll bring this one up, is in the 130-pound weight class, I believe. Let me just make sure that I'm correct. I am correct. I've got her ranked number 10 in the state right now, Alyssa Doolittle of North Fort Myers. Believe she's got like a 20-5 record. It might be a little bit more now, maybe 22, 23-5, but she's a tough girl, man. She's been in and out of the rankings all year. And again, remember, the FloridaWrestling.com, we only rank the top 10, and then we've got 2 honorable mentions. So she's been in and out of the state rankings all season long, but she's always there, man. She's right there. So I feel a wrestler like Alyssa Doolittle, with the great coaching that they have over at North Fort Myers, plus she's got a really talented sister that wrestles as well, ranked pretty high. I do think that she can open some eyes and get on that podium. What do you feel about that?
I agree. I mean, they definitely have a chip on the shoulder this year. Of course, we never want anything terrible happening in the wrestling community, but with what recently happened, there's no doubt in my mind that they're going 150% full throttle now and trying to make a name for themselves. Like you said, her sister is an amazing wrestler. Not only that, the weight class she's around has also some top ranked girls on her team. So she's training with them every day in, day out. And I'm sure maybe sometimes she'll throw in the guys and train with them too. I won't be surprised if she does go to state tournament and even place at the state tournament because she has the same athletic capability as her sister. So they're both top. They're both top and bottom for sure.
Yep, and that's another reason we agreed. For everything you just said, I'm right there with you. Let's talk about that real quick. They do have a little bit of extra oomph when they get to the state tournament. The North Fort Myers kids, the girls and the guys. They recently lost their coach, Hall of Famer Chris Haywood. So you can bet your butt that every match wrestled, every point scored will be for Coach Haywood.
100%.
Guaranteed. Because that's how much they love them and how strongly they feel about them and respect him. So that there's going to be a lot of emotions on the mat for the North Fort Myers kids. And I love it.
100%.
Yep.
And talking about North Fort Myers, we can go into the other girl who also made our top 5, which just shows you as a program how good they are.
Sergi.
Is Gabrielle Sergi. I've had an opportunity. At 35. I've had an opportunity to train with Sergi in person at M80 Wrestling Club in Boca, and she is good. She placed 5th at States last year, or 6th at States, 5th or 6th. I believe she lost to Kaylin Oliver from South Dade at the time. Now she goes to Lake Gibson. And I've seen her wrestle in person as well, and she's amazing. Very slick, very aggressive, knows how to push the pace. Right now she's, I think, around the edge and maybe an honorable mention, maybe outside of it. But I know that the girls that are above her, she can beat. She only has, I believe, 3 losses this year, 4 losses. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I believe one of them is to Villar, who's the number 1 ranked girl in the state right now. And the other one is to Hoppy, who's the number 2 ranked girl in the state right now. So if you look at her record, she's faced great wrestlers, and she's only lost twice against the number 1 and 2 girl in the state.
So I've got Gabriella Sergi ranked number 9 at 135. I show her record is 23-3.
23-3.
Still 3 losses on the entire year. Pretty impressive. Especially, with Villar, Hoppy, Barrientos, Oliver, Sanders, Ariana Garcia from South Dade, Alexa Paz from Slam, Cija Brown from Orlando Freedom. These are all really tough girls that are ahead of her, and she's hanging in there. So,
and since you threw in someone that wasn't in our top 5, I also want to throw in someone in that weight class.
Yeah, for sure. Ariana Garcia more. I'm gonna throw in a couple
Ariana Garcia from South Dade. I believe this summer she was the first girl in South Dade history to wrestle for her home country and bring back a medal. So, not only that,
who's she wrestle
Puerto Rico,
for?
I believe. Puerto Rico, I believe.
Okay.
But correct me if I'm wrong, Ariana Garcia, or your family's watching this, but she's a great wrestler. And I do see her placing at the state tournament highly this year, especially if she gets a good draw. I know in the region, she's got a great draw. She has potential to win the region. And going into the state tournament, that's going to mean something. And not only, I think the South Dade room has some of the best production in the state, especially with developing their boys and girls teams. And I've said before, I think South Dade will be the stamp for girls in the next 2 or 3 years because of what they do in that room.
Yeah, they're definitely making a statement. I mean, they've come so far. They've won some big tournaments this year. But let me ask you this: with Ariana Garcia from South Dade, you said you think she'll place how high? Well, because remember, you've got Anna Villar, Emma Hoppy, Barrientos, Oliver, and Sanders all ahead of her. Can she go top 4?
I believe if she gets a good pool.
Yeah.
Because the state bracket has some magic. I believe she gets a good pool, she can go top 4, top 5. And she's also only a junior, so that's not mentioning that she has another year to go even higher.
Absolutely.
So I believe she can place top 4, top 5.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I agree with you. We didn't pick her earlier, but we did want to shout her out because she does have a really good shot to open some people's eyes and place pretty high. Granted, she's there, which she will be.
Mhm.
And she gets a little help with the bracketing gods, maybe a couple of those top 2 or 3 girls on the other side. She's like right in there and take advantage of that opportunity. So, yeah, I agree with you on that. The other one is at 120 pounds. We both were talking about Moya at 120.
Carmen Moya.
Carmen from Miami Palmetto, sophomore, 17-4, very respectable record. But again, that's another one with some really tough girls ahead of her. Willow White, Jasmine Serrano, Zoe Delgado. Rihanna Ruiz, the Hurricane. This girl scares me. Isabella Alvarez from Vieira, 33-4.
She's very good too.
5. Tough. So it won't be easy for Moya, but if she's on and she puts together a perfect state tournament, if she makes it there, she can get in that top 4, top 5. I think she can.
And you just talked about some of the top girls in the state at that weight class, 120. Willow White is in her region. Zoe Delgado is in her region. Ariana Ruiz is in her region.
Okay.
So she's in that region, which is really tough in that weight class. So, depending how things play out, we'll see what happens.
Well, I will say this now. I didn't realize that, but now that you mention that, she makes it out of that region, she's going to place.
I believe so, too.
She will definitely place. That's like the region of doom, the South Dade region for the guys. That's like the region of doom for the girls, really. It's really no different. So, yeah, Carmen Moya is tough, but she's got to get past some really tough girls as well. And then the final girl is at 145. I believe it's Geraldine Honoré, if I'm pronouncing that.
Yeah, Geraldine Honor, I think. Honor.
Honor or Honoré, either one. Geraldine, we don't mean to butcher your name. We love you.
Yeah.
Giving you the respect. Yeah, she's from South Dade, a senior, 25-5. I've got her currently ranked number 9. Definitely somebody with that South Dade training, and they're going hard these last month or two to get these girls ready. I think she can definitely open some eyes. What do you think about Miss Honoré?
I mean, I've seen Geraldine wrestle in person.
Okay.
Great athlete. She has really long arms, which really helps her to advantage. She is a cradle king.
I was just going to ask, is she a cradler or what?
She is a cradle queen. I've seen her cradle tons of people. And not only that, let's take away that she's super athletic, knows how to wrestle, very technical. And I see her doing really well in the region. Not only does she have a tough region, but I think she can make some noise at the state tournament too. I know she was ranked top 5 at one point in other sources, but to see her go up there and to, especially, like I said, be in that room with that South Dade, I think she's going to do great.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, I mean, that's such a tough region. Going back to how tough that region is, you come out of that region, I really do believe you're going to place at the state tournament. I mean, especially now that they're placing the top 8, I don't see how she couldn't. But
yeah, she wins 2 matches at state. She's a state placer.
Exactly. All right, so those were our girls. I want to throw in another girl. And maybe I'll think of a second one, but the one I want to throw in right now, actually, I have two.
Okay.
So the first one is at 110 pounds, and it's Kiki Bush from Hernando. Kiki is, man, she's right there, dude. She's right there. Can she beat Mariah Mills if she has to wrestle her? Possibly. I don't think she has to this date. I don't think she has yet. Has she beaten Mills yet?
She has not.
Not even during the summer?
No.
Okay. So, that'll be a tough obstacle to overcome. Kiki's going to place top 3. I really do believe that. Even with Mills, Abigail Gonzalez, Stomp Knocker, Kendall Haney, I think Kiki will get in the top 3. I think she placed 3rd last year.
She did. She placed 3rd last year.
And if she can put it together and get a little bit of help, I think Kiki Bush can win a state title. I'm not saying she will, guys. I'm saying she could. These are girls that we think may possibly open some people's eyes and surprise a lot of people. So Kiki is definitely one of those girls that 100% has the potential to win it. And that's the first one. And the second one is her teammate, Emma Bachnight, at 115.
Yes.
Been a big fan of Emma Bachnight for a very long time. Ever since I started watching Kiki wrestle, actually. I got to know both of them at the same time, and they're just really good wrestlers. Of course, Kiki is, new to Hernando. She came over from Hudson, but, Emma definitely has a legit shot. She's another one that placed 3rd at the state tournament last year. I believe she's like 25 or 27-5 on the year. She is a senior, currently ranked number 3 in the state behind Grace Lashinsky and Beyonce Espinoza. she gets on the opposite side of one of those, I think she could possibly make the state finals. But what about Catalina Kenny, bro, from Vieira? 40-0. What is up with that?
A good schedule and a great wrestler. I mean,
40-0. How tough is Vieira's girl schedule?
I think Veer's girl schedule is good. I don't know anything about in depth in it, but I've seen them go to a bunch of tough tournaments. I know they were at the Flagler Rotary.
Yeah.
I know they're at the Freedom Ring Rotary, which is
Yep.
a bunch of tough tournaments. You talk about some of the top ranked girls in the state with huge brackets going to there, and all of their girls are placing high.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, she's 40-0 for a reason, so that means she's won everything.
And you know what? Even if the schedule wasn't a strong schedule, she still won 40 matches in a row with no losses.
And that's just consistency, and a 40 match schedule that's heavy. It's going to put a toll on the body eventually. But if you push past that toll and you just look at straight wrestling technique and her ability, she's put it up there and she's proved that she's undefeated. So she's not someone to look past either.
Exactly. So, going back to the whole luck of the bracketing gods, Lashinsky and Espinoza and Kenny, it is possible for all three of them to be on the same side. I think, right?
It's a small chance, but it's possible.
Yeah. If that happens, Balk Knight walks right into the finals.
Yes, because Beyonce's Region 4, Lashinsky's Region 1,
right?
And Catalina Kenny is what?
Not one of those, I don't think.
She's not one of those. All right, no, so then
that's
it's possible.
3 separate regions. It's a real possibility.
It's a real possibility, yeah. So it could happen. Like we say, bracket gods play a lot. But if that state final were to go down, I believe it would be, again, Beyonce and Balk Knight. You think Lashinsky and Balk Knight, but we'll see what happens.
We will definitely see what happens in a couple of weeks, man. I'm so pumped for it.
Me too.
Another couple of girls that are worth mentioning. I know we're only going to do the top 10 for 5 boys, 5 girls, but I guess we can't stick to that. These girls need to be mentioned. Sigrun Metzger and Haley Motor and Lily Powell. Those are all 3 girls that can really do some damage, man, if they get there.
Yeah, Lily Powell from Gulf Breeze. I know for a fact her training partner is Camden Elliott. I know they go together all the time. Camden's one of the best girls in the state and in the country, so she's only getting better. Haley Motor, if you look at that last name and you know anything about Florida wrestling, you know that Motor is a great name. Exactly. What was her brother? Her brother was what? A state champ or a state placer?
I think state champ.
Okay, yeah. So there you go. So she's gonna do great this year. I think she's gonna do well. And then who else did you just name?
So Motor, Lily Powell, and Sigrun Metzger from Crestview.
Yes, she's very good as well. I know she just won a pretty good tournament, so she's gonna do well too. I'll say mine. This is my last one, guys, and then we'll go to the boys.
Go ahead, I love it. Go.
Mine is Rosie Klein from Monarch. I know I've been talking about her all year. Yes. I know I've been saying it, but she's tough. She got a great bracket pool in the region. She's potentially going to face Melissa Gallo, who's another great wrestler, in the region finals. But I think Rosie Klein, if she does well and locks in, I see her 100% on the podium. And I'll even say this, I think on a bad day, Rosie Klein will be on the podium because I believe in her ability that much.
What weight is Rosie?
100.
She's 100, okay.
100.
Let's check the FloridaWrestling.com official state rankings at 100 pounds for the girls. Let's see where I've got Miss Rosie, or let's see where you have Miss Rosie, because you helped me with these. Yeah, she's number 3. 30-2? Wow.
Yeah. No, she's tough. And I know we talked about that win over Doolittle, which I know Doolittle was going through some stuff around that time, but still a tough competitor. And you don't just get a win over Doolittle like that easily. Not everyone can beat her. So
Exactly.
I think she will do well this year.
Yeah, I tell you what, man, I'm looking at this top 10 rankings in the 100-pound girls. Got some scary names there, dude. It's a tough weight class.
And I think at another spot we go 155, Crystal Desire from Forest Hill.
Yeah, Desire.
I believe Alina Rick. She's beaten Alina Rick. Almost majored her.
Desire beat Rick?
Yeah, she beat Rick over the summer at Seahorse.
Okay.
I know Rick has, summer wrestling is different from in-season wrestling, and I know Matter Lakes has a way tougher schedule. But they're gonna
dude,
but they're gonna see each other there's a possibility they can see each other in the region, but I think Crystal Desire will make the region finals. She'll have to go against Maya Bethel, and we'll see how that goes.
Right.
I believe Crystal.
It ain't gonna go well. It ain't gonna go well.
No.
And that's nothing against her. That's just Maya Bethel is just straight up at a whole nother level.
Yeah, but I think Crystal will do well at the state tournament. I think she'll also place.
Yeah, I mean, I've got her ranked number 5 right now. She's 21-0. I mean, yes, granted, she's at Forest Hill High School in Palm Beach County. And guys, I'm not bashing on Palm Beach County. My kids wrestled. 2 of my 3 boys wrestled in Palm Beach County in high school. But Palm Beach County good is a whole lot different than other area in the state's good. So you got to take it with a grain of salt. Yeah, she's 21-0. I would imagine most of those wins are Palm Beach County wins. Again, nothing taken away from her. It's not her fault. She wrestled the schedule that was put in front of her. She stepped to the line and she won 21 matches in a row. So good for her. But those girls are going to be a lot tougher at her region and at the state tournament than she's faced all year. So that's why I feel that coaches are doing their kids such a disservice by giving them not as tough of a schedule as they could. I'm a firm believer on let the kids get some losses during the year. Who cares?
I agree. I'd rather you have a 20-15 record with the toughest wrestlers ever than a 30-0 record with a cakewalk schedule.
Bro, do you know how many times over the past years, probably the past 10 years, that I've seen kids from Palm Beach County enter the state tournament, 55-2, 63-1, 40-0, and they don't place. I mean, come on.
That's crazy.
You gotta wrestle tough schedule. Anyhow.
Of course.
So is that it for the girls? Are we done?
That's it for the girls. Let's go to the boys now.
All right. And girls, by the way, everyone we just named, if we didn't name you, doesn't mean we don't think you're great. That means we expect you to be on the podium. We're talking about the girls that, can really open some eyes and potentially knock off a state champ or a state finalist, a previous state champ or state finalist. So, listen, guys, relax. We're just naming the ones that can open some eyes. And maybe we'll do another video with who we think's going to place top 3 in each weight class.
Maybe.
We can do that.
Maybe.
All right. So the boys. All right. I'll start it out. Let me just, I'm going to start with Bear Siegel, man. Bear Siegel from North Bay Haven. Bear is at what, 65, I think?
Yes, he is at 65.
65. All right. Let me pull that up real quick.
Yeah, so Bear Siegel, I've wrestled with him as well on a national team together multiple times. I believe 2 national tournaments we were on the same team together. And he's passionate. He loves wrestling. And he's a passionate wrestler. And a competitor hates to lose, and he's improved a lot. I mean, you talk about someone that I believe he was very not appreciated during the season, and he's proved this season that he can be one of the best wrestlers in the state. He's only a junior as well.
Absolutely.
He's very talented. He has a lot of talent in the world. And that North Bay Haven room is very tough as well. They have some really good wrestlers there. I know one of the lighter weights, Koa Deluche.
Yeah.
Very tough, very good wrestler from Guam.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bear Siegel's going to make some noise.
Yeah, I was talking before the season started with Coach Turnipseed, Zane. Great coach, by the way. Even better human being. Love the guy. And we were talking about Koa Deloach, or Kai Deloach. What is it? Koa or Kai?
Koa.
Koa. Yeah, Koa Deloach. I'm like, who is this kid, dude? Where did he come from? He goes, he just moved here from Guam. I'm like, Guam? He goes, yeah, man. He wrestles like freestyle and Greco, all that international stuff. He's going to be good. And he's right, man. So, Koa can open some eyes. But back to Bear. Bear is just a really good athlete. He's an even better football player, but he's a wrestler and a football player, which go hand in hand. He wrestles freestyle all over the place. His dad gets him anywhere he needs to be to get in front of the best competition. And I feel that Bear doesn't get enough credit, man. He just doesn't. He's under the radar for the most part. I'm sure in North Florida, he's not under the radar because they know him. But in South Florida, he's probably flying a little bit below the radar. And guys, don't sleep on this kid. I'm telling you right now. Now, I have him ranked number 7 in the state. I think he's 53-8 right now, or something close to that. Like you said, he's a junior. He's been in the rankings all year, never dropped out of the rankings. I think I had him like maybe 10 or honorable mention, but he's climbed to 7. He's going to be on the podium. Here's the thing, and I've spoken with his dad about this. He's got to get more consistent, because Bear will go out there and lose to a kid that he should pin or tech. So I don't know what's up with that, but if he's consistent and his head's on straight and he's ready to go put the work in, I think Bear Siegel can really knock off some good kids that people don't expect him to knock off.
I agree. I think so too.
So that's that. That's Bear. The other one is you sent this over, Landon Kuroga from Merritt Island.
Yes, 100%. I believe Landon Kuroga is being overlooked for sure. I mean, he's in a very tough weight class, but a lot of people don't put into consideration that he was a state finalist his freshman year, right? He
I
lost
forgot
to
about.
exactly. He lost to a kid from Brandon who he almost pinned. It was a crazy comeback match. It was all over the place, but Landon Kuroga is a state finalist. He has that in his resume. He's a multiple-time state placer. And what happened at the state duel tournament? Landon Kuroga pinned who?
Oh yeah, it's right. Who was it? It's right on the tip of my tongue. Oh,
I think it was was it Ethan Tron?
Yes. Was it?
Yeah.
Was it Tran?
I think it was
Or was
Tran.
it Odell? Oh no, that was Timmy.
Timmy Boda.
Boda beat Odell, and yeah, he beat Tran. You're right. Kuroga took out Tran.
Tran is really tough. I've seen him wrestle a lot.
Is that 32?
32-26. I think it's one of those weight classes.
Okay. Yes. So right now I have Kuroga at number 7. And the reason that he dropped to number 7, like I had him ranked as high as number 1 at one time during the year at 120. He dropped down to number 2. And then now this is his new weight class. And I've got him, so at 132, I've got him at number 7. But the only reason that he's at number 7 is because recently, a couple of weeks ago, I think he got beat by Adrian Dade from Cocoa Beach at the Cape Coast Conference Tournament, if I'm not mistaken.
Adrian Dade is tough. Adrian Dade is really tough.
Very, very tough. But, you know, he's ranked number 6. Adrian Dade from Cocoa Beach, he's ranked number 6. I had to put Landon behind him because he just got beat by him recently. I'm almost positive.
Yeah.
But again, that's another tough weight class. I finally gave you your boy at number 1, Lincoln Sledzanowski. I had to, man.
Yeah.
The kid's, he's just incredible. You're right. But then at number 2 is Chris Green, Jay Brown at number 3. Okay, here's the guy that we didn't name. This kid, I really think he can make the state finals. Jasper Kroom.
Yeah, Jasper Kroom is really good. I've seen his brackets.
Round this year, but
I've seen the brackets he's been in, having to cover that and send stuff to you, and he's almost always winning. He's beating some tough kids. He's beating some of the best kids in the state. If he gets a good bracket pool, he could be in the state finals. And even if he doesn't, if he pulls something together, he could also be in the state finals.
For sure. For sure. He's that talented that it doesn't matter about the bracketing. If he shows up and he's on his game, Jasper Kroom, it can be as good as anybody else in that weight class. Maybe not Lincoln. Lincoln, listen, man, he's just got a lot of experience with elite level wrestlers like we discussed on another episode. You know, he's from Bishop McCourt, man. You know, he spent a full season with those guys there, you know.
Yeah, not just elite level wrestlers in the country, but in the world. He's a UC Greco World Team member.
Yes. Fargo champ.
I believe so. He's been around. He's definitely placed at Fargo for sure.
Yeah, so Lincoln is the strong favorite to win that weight class. A strong favorite. But yes, Landon Kuroga definitely can open some eyes. I completely forgot. He's a former state champ or a state finalist. Champ or finalist?
Who? Kuroga? Finalist.
Who did he lose to?
He lost to a kid from Brandon. I think his name was Roberto something. I forgot.
Oh, yeah. Not De Jesus.
No.
Okay.
Someone else. But he lost to a kid from Brandon. It was a close match. It was tough. The kid from Brandon ended up getting the pin, but before the pin, it was close.
Okay. Andrew Isaac. You know a lot more about him than I do. Let's talk about him. Cardinal Gibbons at 134.
So the first time I saw Andrew Isaac wrestle, I knew he was good, but after following up with him tournaments later, I didn't know how good he could actually be. Originally, he wrestled Bruce Lee. We know how good Bruce Lee is, and he's only a freshman.
Huge fan of Bruce.
Me too. The first time he wrestled Bruce Lee, the match ended in
injury,
medical forfeit, and because of a rash on his face. And we know that we don't count medical losses as actual losses because anything can happen. So he wrestles Bruce Lee again, and he wrestles Preston Lindsay, And I believe he beats both of them. And Preston Lindsay, I believe he's top 6 in the state. And after he beat Preston, I told you, I said, I think it's time to put Andrew Isaac on the rankings because he deserves it. He's really tough. His brother's a D1 wrestler. I think Andrew Isaac can make a lot of noise at the state tournament this year.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I really didn't know as much about Andrew Isaac as I should have, so shame on me. But with everything that you've told me about him and the kids that he has beaten or just competed with and hung in there, yeah, man, a kid like that can look. He's 37-5. He's at Cardinal Gibbons. He's getting great training. He's got great workout partners, but he's going to be in the region with you. We're definitely going to see a Bruce Lee Andrew Isaac rematch, right?
I hope we do. But Preston Lindsay's in that region too.
No way. That's right. So at number 6, I have Andrew Isaac. Number 7, Bruce Lee. Number 8, Preston Lindsay. So 6, 7, and 8 are those 3 guys that we just mentioned. They're all in the same region. That's
yeah, it's going to be tough.
That is,
and one of them is going to be in the blood round.
Yes.
So we'll see what happens.
I don't know if Isaac can make the finals. I don't know if he can because you got Talon Maple, Michael Kersey, Adrian Frito from Bishop Moore, Ricky Bowermaster from Wikiwachi. I don't know if he can make the finals, but I definitely think he can place in the top 4 for sure.
I agree.
Really?
I think he can place highly. If the bracket comes out right, top 4, top 5. He's proved himself this year. But we also can't take out of consideration that Bruce Lee and Preston are making some adjustments to make sure that they can also win those matches.
Right.
So we'll see what happens.
Right.
But someone, off to the next kid, someone I want to talk about is Jaden Rivas from Miramar.
Okay.
Recently, he just beat Isaac Fayer from Cardinal Gibbons at the Broward County tournament. And he's only a sophomore. I've been watching him wrestle all year and last year as well. And he's really tough. He has a great, I don't want to say what he does so well. I don't want to give it off to other people. But he has a great offense. He knows how to score, and he knows how to rack up points on the scoreboard. And he knows how to go with some of the tough kids. He knows how to come back from losses. Every kid that he's lost to, he's ended up beating. He's going to make noise at the state tournament this year, and only a sophomore too.
So, and he's at what? What weight is he? 57?
157.
Okay. And that's 2A, 157.
Yep, 2A Miramar 157.
Yeah, I don't have him ranked in the top 10. I don't even have him honorable mention, but that means nothing. Now, the kid's 33-8 from Miramar. They wrestle a fairly tough schedule. But here's the thing. Can he beat KJ Vasquez? Can he beat Eric Hodge? Can he beat Wyatt Leduc? Can he beat Armando Wisdom? 32-0? I don't know if he's got what it takes.
And we'll see. I mean, I'm personal friends with him. We always joke around about stuff like that. But when the region tournament,
your brother?
He hasn't.
Okay.
He was the weight class. I think above or below last year, the year before that.
Are they in the same region?
They are in the same region.
Thought so.
So Eric Hodge, Armando, my brother, and Jaden Rivas are in the same region.
Well, I'm going to call it right now. You're going to see an Eric Hodge Armando Wisdom final.
I agree. I think so. They should be on the opposite side of the bracket. It would be hard to be not. I mean, we've been on national tournaments with Eric Hodge before. A couple other kids from Matter Lakes when Eric was at Matter Lakes. He's great. He's very cool, awesome kid, great wrestler too, obviously. I think he is one of the top front runners to win a state title, but I always choose my brother over anyone, and I think my brother's going to win a state title this year, but we'll see at the region how it goes.
Right. You may be just a little bit biased, but
maybe.
That's all right. I was the same way with my kids when they were wrestling. I'm like, my kid's winning it. They're like, how can you be so sure? I'm like, because I live with him. I know he's going to win it.
Yeah, exactly.
He did. So I can't wait to see that region finals with Hodge and Wisdom. That's going to be good to watch. Where is the regions? Is it at Gibbons?
Jensen Beach. Jensen Beach is a 2A. Gibbons is 1A.
That's close to me.
Is it actually? Yeah, come by.
I'll definitely be there. It's like 10, 15 minutes from my house. So
yeah, no, I'm excited to see what happens.
Absolutely. Hey, what do you think of my matte combatant shirt? You like that?
I like it. I think it looks good on you.
Well, you can get one, and so can everybody else. This was made by Coach Dimitri Kangas, Will of a Warrior Wrestling. So if you go to willafowarriorwrestling.com or willafowarrior.com, you can buy all the different shirts that he makes. But here's the beautiful thing about it. I'm sorry I'm throwing a plug in there for Coach
No
Rivas,
worries.
but he deserves it. Here's the beautiful thing about it. Everything that man does goes right back into the wrestling community. So every penny that he gets in from selling all these different t-shirt designs that he makes at his house, he throws it right back into the wrestling community in the forms of scholarships. Like, he always donates to like Toys for Tots or backpack drives in the beginning of the school year for kids that can't afford new backpacks. He is the first one to always donate. Anytime I have something like that, any kind of fundraiser, I can always count on him. So guys, go over, get with Coach Dimitri Kangas. You can either hit him up, private message him, it's Kangas, or just go to willofawarrior.com and purchase a shirt. They're not expensive, like $15-20, and every penny goes right back into the wrestling community. So you can get a pretty fire shirt and you'll be doing something good as well. So there's my plug for that. All right, so let's go to the next guy. Real quick before we do that, I wanted to mention this to you and maybe you'll have an answer. What's up with Louis Bayonne from Somerset?
Louis Ballone?
Yeah.
Man, Louis Ballone.
Not in rank number 7, but he's way better than in number 7.
Louis Ballone is tough. I know he hasn't wrestled much at all this year. I
Was
know
it
he
an
wrestled at the
injury?
state. I believe it was an injury. I don't want to speak on what I don't know for sure. I don't want to put his name out there for negativity.
Right.
But I know that there's someone's gonna wrestle off. He's a 57 right now. 57 is also Eric Hodge, same school. Someone's gonna wrestle off. If he goes down to 50, he has to wrestle off Tristan Sains. I don't think he's gonna go down to 44. So if he goes up to 65, he has to wrestle off Blenny de Vilma. If he goes up to 75, he has to wrestle off. If he goes to 75, he has to wrestle off Michael Sains. I don't know what's up with that. I have a lot of respect for Lewis. He was my region blood round match my sophomore year, and he beat me, and he ended up placing 6th at states that year. So I have a lot of respect for Louis Ballone. I don't know him too much personally, but I know he's a great wrestler, and I have only respect for him. But we'll see what happens.
I think Louis Ballone, or Ballone, Lewis, I think he plays 6th, 6th, and 4th, if I'm not mistaken.
He did. Okay. He did. He plays 6th, 6th, and 4th.
Yep. So he's gunning for a state title this year. And let me tell you something. That kid, he's good enough to where, if he gets a spot on that roster, no matter what spot it is, he's good enough if he puts a really great tournament together and doesn't make any mistakes. He can surprise a lot of people as well.
No, 100%. He's going to do good. I mean, he lost to Brian Piccolo last year in state 3rd and 4th, who's an amazing wrestler. Brian's amazing. And years before that, he's come 6th to great wrestlers as well. So there's no reason why he wouldn't be a front runner for a state title. It just depends on where he is in the weight and if he has a starting spot this year. So we'll see what happens. He's a senior, so.
It's funny. I was talking with Coach Joe Blasucci months and months and months ago, and we were talking about Louis Ballone, and he goes, yeah, man. He goes, last year's banquet, I introduced him as El Diablo. I go, why El Diablo? He goes, well, that means the devil, and he plays 6th, 6th, and I thought he was going to get 6th again, so that's 3 6s, the devil. So he was calling El Diablo. I go, well, he didn't get 6th. He got 4th, so you can't call him El Diablo anymore.
That's hilarious.
He's a funny dude. All right, who else do we got for the guys?
Shai Kiri. Shai Kiri from Coral Springs. Yeah. Shai Kiri is tough. Shai Kiri, when you look at the rankings, you think he can't make the state finals, but Shai Kiri had a win over 2-time state finalist Tyree Graham from South Dade this summer at Seahorse, and it was a high-scoring match, and he ended up winning. And you don't just have those matches for no reason. Shai Kiri is good. And Tyree Graham is a great wrestler too. And Shai Kiri has done some amazing things this year. There's no reason why he shouldn't be a front runner for a state title if he's taken out state finalists.
Right. But that's another one that consistency, man. I had him ranked a whole lot higher. And right now, as of right this second, he's ranked number 8, which is great. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's top 10 in the state, but he's got to get more consistent. I know he's dropped 6 or 7 matches this year. Another kid that's in that weight class that's really, really good is from Tokoi Creek, Nikita Chechkovsky, one of the Chechkovsky brothers. There's Nikita and Vladimir. I think Nikita may have recently beaten Shai Kiri, which is why I have him behind Nikita.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened. But yeah, he's got all the talent in the world. He can do it. It's just which Shai Kiri is going to show up. Is it going to be
And he's
this?
in a tough weight class. I think
Yeah,
he's 65. So, 65, you have Willie White, who's a favorite, right? You go under 65, you have Mac Andrews. I believe you have Connor Bonnie,
yeah.
or one of the Bonnie brothers. You have Vlad. You have a bunch of great kids in that weight class. And
Uh-huh.
he's in that region of doom as well. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, let me tell you something. I'm looking at that 65 weight class in 3A. Willie White, 46-0. Drake Bonnie, Mac Andrews, Vlad Chiskovsky, and then Leonard Gilly from Southridge.
hmm
Tough weight class, dude.
It's going to be a tough region.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And you just named the Willie, Mac, Drake, and Leonard. They're all Region 4. And Shaqiri is also Region 4. So one of those guys isn't going to the state tournament.
That is absolutely nuts, dude. That blows me away. But it happens every year.
It does. It's heartbreaking.
You got these kids that are good enough to get to the state tournament anywhere else in any other region. It just happens they're in the region of doom, and it just doesn't work out that way. I've seen kids not make the state tournament out of that region that I know for a fact would have beaten the 5, 6, 7, and 8 guys that placed that year.
It's tough. It's tough. And it's called the Region of Doom for a reason.
For a reason. That's right.
There's another kid I want to talk about too.
Let's do it.
From Bayside, Gary Bradley.
Yes.
He's tough as well. He only has 2 losses this year, and the only 2 losses are to Jeremiah Chavez from Hernando,
Okay.
who is one of the best in the state. So besides those 2 losses, he's beaten some great kids. He's beaten multiple time state qualifiers. He's beaten state placers. I believe he's ranked top 5 in the rankings.
What weight?
190, 2A 190. I believe he's ranked top 5 in the rankings.
I'm going to tell you in 2 seconds. 2A,
And he's tough.
190. We've got, so at number 1, you got Brody Switzer from Pasco, Mateo Martinez from Somerset, Jacob Rodriguez from Winter Springs, Amir Costin from Auburndale, and you're right, number 5, Gary Bradley with a 30-2 record. He's a senior out of Bayside High School.
He's really good. He's tough. He has a great offensive moveset. When he's mentally ready, I think he can beat almost anyone in the state when he's mentally there.
Yep, for sure. Mateo Martinez, Brody Switzer, those guys are tough. And speaking of the name Mateo, let's talk about what you told me today. That is just heartbreaking news, kind of off the topic, but people need to hear about this. Tell everybody the news that you got today.
Yeah, so I'm good friends with Mateo Gonzalez from Somerset, 138-pounder, and his season's over. And he was ranked top 3, top 4 in the state at 2A 138. He had a district semifinal injury and went straight from the district semis to the district blood round, but because of his injury, he had to medical forfeit out the tournament. So he's done for the season. I think he showed me he had like a neck brace on and everything. Like he's done. So,
That is
guys.
absolutely heartbreaking, man. Heartbreaking.
No, it is. I don't want to put out his business here. Maybe off camera we can talk about it, but I don't want to put out his business just because I have a lot of respect for him because he's my friend.
No disrespect intended. I just want to make sure he's okay and that, he understands that, hey, man, these things can happen. And he's young, man. He's what, a freshman?
He's 8th grade. 8th grade.
God. Mateo, dog, you got nothing to worry about. You'll be back in no time. I know it's heartbreaking. You wanted to go for that state title. He took 3rd as a 7th grader, right?
Yeah, he did.
So, I mean, he'll be fine. But yeah, that's horrible news. I feel so bad.
Anything can happen. So, don't take anything for granted, guys. Anything can happen. Your season can be over in a heartbeat, and not just off of injury, off a bad referee call, off of sickness, off of personal stuff. Like anything can happen.
A defensive pin.
Anything.
I've seen that happen multiple times. That's no fun. Yeah, so those are the people that we feel definitely have the ability to do something big at the state tournament and can definitely open some people's eyes and maybe knock off a previous state champ or finalist or 2 or 3. So we'll see what happens. But I appreciate you coming on the show. I'm glad we're collaborating on these different episodes. I think it's really great stuff. We're getting some tremendous feedback. I know I am, and I'm getting a lot of feedback, particularly about you. So to give you a pat on the back, great job with all the research you've done, all the
Thank you.
information that you provided me. Huge benefit, and I really appreciate that. What else? Do we have anything else we want to talk about tonight?
I believe that's it. I mean, regions coming up, districts is coming up. Some of you guys have postseason tournaments, so good luck to all of you. Recently we just hit 2,000 followers on the Florida Wrestling Insight page. So
give it a
thank
plug.
you guys very much.
Tell people how to follow your Instagram. Give it a plug.
FL_Wrestling Insight on Instagram. That's where I'm at only right now. In the future, we'll have different websites and different sources, but right now it's just on Instagram. I appreciate all of you coming from the Florida Wrestling Room to my page and following me. It's free. It costs nothing to follow me. So the fact that you guys did that means a lot. My goal at the year, and I told Ricky this multiple times, was to have 2,000 followers by the end of the state tournament. And we had 2,000 followers by districts. So I appreciate all of you for doing that. And let's just keep growing.
Absolutely. Guys, do yourself a favor. I'm not just saying this. I really, truly mean this because I follow it myself. You got to follow him at FL_Wrestling Insight on Instagram. FL_Wrestling Insight on Instagram. You will thank me, I promise. He's got great information. He's got the latest results, updates, and news. And the coolest graphics, by the way. You're doing an awesome job with those graphics.
I appreciate it.
I dig them, man.
Thank you.
I'm jealous because I don't know how to do them. But no, you're doing really great, man. And guys, go over there and give him a follow, man. He really deserves it because he's really putting his heart and soul into this for you guys. And again, it doesn't cost anything. It'll take you 2 seconds. Give him a follow. Anyways, guys, thank you for tuning in. Drop a comment. Let us know what you think, how we're doing, what you want us to do an episode on, and we'll do it for you. So it's me, Ricky Cheese, signing off from the FloridaWrestling.com. Alex Wisdom from FL_Wrestling Insight on Instagram. We love you guys, and we will definitely talk to you very, very soon. We're probably going to do a video of who we think the top 3 in each weight class will be at the state tournament, so stay tuned. That'll be coming up in the next few days, I think. Anything else?
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Man.